Hello, YouTube. Well, I guess it would help if I put that on and I shut the audio off. Okay, where am I? Hello, YouTube. It's BOP5 again. How are you doing? Yes, there will be no lore singing in this live stream, so don't worry about that. The stream went dark. I'm sorry. Yeah, things don't always work when you click on them. Hey, it's Captain Backspasm. You're dark. There you are. Can you hear me okay? Great to see you, man. Looking well. Thanks, Darth. I don't see it, but I'm glad somebody does. Oh, man. Every time I see myself on camera, I think I'm looking worse and worse. But hopefully I'm just my own toughest critic, as they say. Let's adjust that. Just get some free advertising in there. There we go. Let me fix that sleeve a little. Okay. So I guess most of us were just watching the anti-tracker only live patron stream. So that was fun. I've been thinking about doing this topic for a while. So I did have something I wanted to discuss just in general, and that's dreams. And specifically, what do I dream about? Because people have asked me over the years, and to be honest, ever since a Stargate Universe episode, and don't worry, it's not any real spoilers, but if those of you who've seen Stargate Universe probably know what I'm talking about. For those that haven't, let's just say that there's a technology in the future that they come across without revealing any big plot points that lets people see the dreams of others. It's not the main point of the technology. It's a side effect. And in Stargate Universe, there's a disabled character, and people end up, I believe, seeing her dreams, or they warn the people that they might experience her dreams, and just to be warned that you wouldn't think that the dream of somebody who was disabled would be different, but when you think about it, I mean I'm not blind and the character wasn't blind, but let's say there was somebody who was blind their entire life. Yes, they must have dreams, but what are their dreams of? I mean, do their dreams have any type of vision to them? There's really no way to know. I mean, they can't really explain it to us, and we wouldn't comprehend it. We probably wouldn't comprehend the dream at all. But, so anyway, yeah. So, I've been concerned myself. Iron Wolf says, wait, there was a patron stream? Why did I get a notification? Why didn't I get a notification? The notification should have came through a patron. A Patreon email. It can't come through YouTube because it's an unlisted stream. So he sent it through Patreon. I did get an email notification from Patreon. Make sure you subscribed or have those enabled. I also try to post it in the Patreon only part of the Discord section, but you know, you have to be in and looking for that, so it's hard to find. Just know that sometime around 5 to 6 p.m. on Mondays, he usually will do a Patreon only live stream for those interested. Spoilers for a show that ended years ago. I know, Darth, but we know some people haven't seen it yet. I don't want to get too much into it. I dream of Gene. If you dream of a guy named Gene, Darth, that's all well and good. I used to dream of Jeannie. Yeah, that's something to dream about. But Gene, maybe Gene Roddenberry, Gene Kuhn, I don't know, Gene. Is there a Gene in X-Men? I'm not sure, but hey, not judging you. I'm judging. Wonder what evil genius's anti-tracker dreams about. We know what he dreams about. It's his avatar. It's on his brain. Oh, anti-tracker. Hello, anti-tracker. Welcome to the stream. We were just talking about you. Blind people dream of invisible sheep. I guess if a blind person felt a sheep with their hands, they might get some type of mental image of what a sheep looked like. And then they could dream about that figure jumping. I don't know. I've never saw the logic of counting sheep trying to get to sleep. But I've never slept like a normal person my entire life. From the time I was a kid, I would go to sleep, the TV would be on. To this day, the TV's on when I go to sleep. Most people think I'm crazy, but it's just the way I got used to things. We've got a few comments. Anti-tracker, you have dreams of currently illegal substance. Lol. Commander Ironwolf, yeah, Patreon usually notifies me, but it didn't. Sorry about that. Thomas Potts, he dreams of Lore and Foley as a married couple and AT as their son. That would be THEIR, their son. Sorry. You missed a great remix of Lore. Well, we can debate how great it was. Okay, let's see. I will go to your house and leave a steak just out of reach. If you come to my house and leave a steak just out of reach, my dog is going to get it. In fact, even if you leave it within reach, my dog might get it. She's scary. I'm not going to wrestle a steak away from her. She's got teeth. Josh Street dreams of Jeannie too. Okay, yeah. See, dream of Jeannie, you dream of Samantha from Bewitched, either one. I'd pick Jeannie. They could dream about the tactile sensation and hearing things. Anti-tracker, you should tell them to read your last comment. Lol. Really, how does counting help people go to sleep? Counting keeps me awake. Exactly. Anytime I get my brain engaged, I'm awake. In fact, If the news is on, I'll wake up. So I have to have something on TV that doesn't engage the brain. And it can't be something too terrible, because if it's something too terrible, I'll get actively angry about it being on television. But if it's something too good, it'll actively be interested in watching it. So it's got to be something like a mediocre episode of The Next Generation that I've seen, 100 times. Offhand, I'd say something from season 2, maybe a Pulaski, Dr. Pulaski episode or something. It's always on BBC America. None of the episodes are that great, but if it's on, I'll leave it on. Something like that is perfect to fall asleep to. If it's too exciting, like if I have Netflix on and I'm running through DS9 episodes, then I'll probably just stay awake trying to watch. Oh well. Darth Raven, may I ask you a question? Sure. My mom dreams she's still paralyzed, but my paralyzed gran with Alzheimer's dreams of memories. Well, that's a good, that's it. I can understand that, I guess. For the longest time, and I mean, I came home from the rehab center, which was 2 months after being released from the hospital, in May 2010. So, for, I'd say 6-7 years after that, literally every dream I ever had during that time, I was walking or running or driving. I was doing exactly the type of stuff I was doing before I got sick. It didn't ever occur to me in my dreams that I was paralyzed, or was sick, or that I was bedbound, or any of those things. After maybe 6 or 7 years, I still dreamed that I could walk, but slowly aspects of the reality of being paralyzed and mostly bedbound started to find their way into the dreams. And even to today, I'd say 95% of the dreams I can remember, I'm perfectly normal walking. I wouldn't know I was paralyzed in the dream, but there'll be something in the dream that reminds me that something is wrong. Such as if I'm in the dream and I'm walking around and somebody says, "Oh, do we want to go somewhere out to eat?" And I'll be like, "Oh, I can't go out to eat because for any of the excuses that come up, like, oh, I need my wheelchair, or my wheelchair won't fit through the door of that place, or it's not going to fit in the car, or even what's going to happen if I have to use the bathroom." Because to be quite frank, that's my biggest worry, being out someplace and having to use the restroom, because I can't transfer out of my wheelchair except with the help of a Hoyer lift, which is an electronic hydraulic device that physically lifts me out of bed and then lowers me into a wheelchair, because I'm 255 pounds just about, and my one hand is only half working. The other hand is decent, but I don't have the strength to push down and move myself over or pull myself up like Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump, or anything close to that. And even going into a bathroom, I don't think my power chair could fit through a door, even a wide handicap stall door. And even if it could, I got no way to get the urine, to be frank, from my chair into the bowl. And without being more disgusting, if it was the other thing, I'd just be out of luck because I couldn't do anything. So it is a big deal having to go to the bathroom. Really limits my ability to get out. If I'm going to be out that I know for more than an hour or so, there are these pouches that they sell that you can stick on, because I'm not going to put a catheter up my pee hole. That's just not happening. There's this pouch that you can stick on that with like a glue that goes around, and it connects to a tube, and basically you pee down a tube into a bag that you can put around your leg or hang at the bottom of the wheelchair without getting too nasty. But if I'm going to be excuse me, if I'm going to be in my chair for any extended period of time, that's what we'll put on. That's what we'll do, because I have to pee, and I'll just hope to hell I will change my diet 2 or 3 days before going out in preparation for going out to try and make it so that I don't ever need to do the other thing while I'm out. And knock wood, so far we've been lucky. But that is probably my biggest fear. I mean, yeah, I wear something similar to a diaper, but oh my God, if I went in my chair, I'd be embarrassed to all hell. And I'd probably stink and be messy, and then I would never go out again, probably. So yeah, I don't know how we started on that. Dreams. I'll get back to dreams in a second. I see a couple of chats. Okay, Darth, I will get back to answering the dream question. I know I only half answered it. I do that a lot with Futurama because I've seen every single episode at least 30 times. Futurama is pretty good, but if we get to Jurassic Park or Luck of the Fryish or any number of other episodes where no fan has gone before, there's just so many good episodes that I will stay awake. So to be honest, the series I fall asleep to the most, and this is literally 5 days a week out of 7, is The Simpsons. As much as I like The Simpsons, between 30 seasons of episodes, the vast majority of them decent but not excellent. They're plenty good to go to sleep to, and I've seen them all probably, without exaggeration, at least 25 times, every single episode. besides maybe the last few seasons. Um, I'm sure there are episodes I've seen more than 25 times. But the channel FXX has The Simpsons on from 8 p.m. to midnight, 5 days a week. And pretty much all those 5 days a week, I will fall asleep with that channel on. And then sometime overnight, I wake up to urinate, and then if The Simpsons are over, I'll change it to the Science Channel and hopefully fall back asleep. Wrench power does not work here. Yeah, I haven't done any wrenches. I'm sorry. I'm not sure how to do them offhand. Can I give somebody a wrench by clicking on their avatar? And maybe the three dots. Remove, put user in timeout, add moderator. Oh, look at that. Anti-tracker is now my first moderator. And Darth, you're going to be my second moderator. Not in any order in particular. But, we talk a lot on Discord, in public and in private. So, yeah, I'll make you a moderator too. You've been trusted. We should all be in electric wheelchairs with black boxes around them and blinking lights and spears sticking out in the front. We call ourselves the Pikemen. Ah, yes. Poor Captain Pike. Admiral Pike? Well, either way. You would think in the 23rd century there would be some better technology than just that damned yes-no blinking wheelchair. Why should you worry about it? Only takes you 2 minutes, and exactly 2 minutes. Well, it only takes me 2 minutes. I'm assuming you mean to pee in my bed, where I have put my years of engineering training to use and created a custom-made urinary extraction system, we'll say, because peeing into those portable urinals isn't very practical and would be a hell of a lot of work on Mom, running it back and forth to the toilet like every time I go. And I go a lot because I drink a lot of water. And so I've developed a system using a wet dry vacuum and tools from aquarium cleaners that basically lets me pee into a suction device, something like might be on the space station, and it goes into a 2.5 gallon tank that just empty a few times a day instead of 10 or 12 times a day, and it keeps me happy, keeps Mom happy. She's not running back and forth all the time, and when it starts to smell after a few weeks, we just get a new one because it's cheap enough and far, far cheaper than the cost of putting on those pouches would be every day. I don't know if you heard that, but that was the Citizen app alerting me to something happening nearby. Let's just check that out. Basement fire. 4570 202nd Street. It's a half mile away. It's not that close. I hope everybody's okay. Darth Raven said, "Mom's got that fear." I understand completely, Darth. It's like I said, it's my biggest fear too. Anti-Trigger says, "Is it just me, or does it seem that BOP5 would make a great supervillain?" Who's to say I'm not a supervillain already? No. I could play the supervillain if I had to, but to be honest, I'm so by the book kind of person that the couple of times in my life I've purposely broken rules as an adult, I was so panicky that I realized I could never really be a criminal. Not a real criminal, because like I was totally justified for doing it. I'm not going to get into the story tonight. Another time maybe. But I was acting in the public interest, okay? Just trust me. When I crazy glued a lock, okay? Because I was doing it for people who couldn't stand up for themselves. Literally at the time I could walk. This had nothing to do with being paralyzed. But I was doing it for all the right reasons. I checked for video cameras, even though this was kind of before cameras got all that popular. I put the super glue up the sleeve of my jacket. I had it open so I could kind of just squeeze it as I walked by. I walked right up next to this thing kind of with my hand. Boom, squeezed it in and kept walking like nothing happened. Totally freaked out. By the time I got back up to my apartment, I was sure the police were going to be coming. I was like, oh shit, what did I do? I shouldn't have done that. I was shaking. Luckily, nobody found out it was me, or if they did, they just didn't come and bother me. But it did rectify the problem. I'm happy to say the message was received, and everybody was much better off 24 hours later than they had been. So, but I knew from that point on, crime wasn't going to be a life for me. I didn't have the heart for it. Oh wow, lots of comments. I'm sorry guys, let me okay, well that's too far up. Okay, here we go. Brian McFarland, Heidi ho everybody. Hi Brian, I hope you're still here. I'm sorry, I'm way behind on the comments. Oh boy. That's it. Captain Catheter. Darth Raven says never be embarrassed. Well, that's easier said than done, especially me. I am often embarrassed. Commander Ironwolf, Anti-Tracker, is saying to Commander Ironwolf, that is a lie from the pit of hell. Okay, I missed. Oh, catheters hurt. Don't do it. So you're saying catheters. Commander Ironwolf says catheters hurt. Don't do it. And Anti-Tracker says that's a lie from the pit of hell. So are you saying that catheters don't hurt and to do it? Or did your dyslexia make it look like he said that catheters don't hurt and to just do it? Either way, I'm still not doing the catheter. And then Anti-Tracker said stream frozen. Well, I hope you refreshed the page. Okay, Anti-Tracker said he misread it. I should have just kept reading. Noob mistake. Oh, he admitted it. His dyslexia messed up the order of the words. You know what? The first time I read it, I mixed up the order of the words in my head. So I reread it twice. You click on the 3 dots. Oh, dang. I have the power. Yep. Okay, Anti-Tracker and Darth just found out they've got wrenches at this point. That's how far back we are. Josh Street. AT, how is Mr. Miles letting the power of the wrench go to his head? You know what? Mr. Miles is going to get a wrench on this channel. He might be Anti-Tracker's nemesis, but he is not mine. Anti-Tracker says you pee in your bed. Well, I don't pee into the bed, but I do pee while in the bed. Yes. I'm sorry, but I do pretty much everything in the bed. Not all while sitting up, but while in the bed. Urinary extraction system, also called some other things. It's hard to explain, but no, it doesn't go inside it. The thing is, if you would actually stick it on you, there would be no air flowing, so it wouldn't actually suck. For the suction to work, there has to be plenty of air flowing past the opening of the vacuum. So no, it's not what you're thinking, okay? It's not that. You've got to kind of hold it in front so all the air can be sucked in. And then the urine just kind of follows. So it's actually, I use the big tube. Like if you have an aquarium and they sell those aquarium filters that are like big wide tubes that have like another tube that you suction the water out and it cleans the gravel. Well, that has been cut and with a custom fitting to fit it into a wet dry vac hose, and that is what's used. And kind of just got to aim it to go in. Please don't let embarrassment get in the way of anything. In 2017, my dad passed away of cancer in the spine/brain. After cleaning up his poop, etc., embarrassment never bothered me again. Brian, you're a good man. I'm sorry to hear about your dad. And Yeah, the realities of death and the people who have to clean up after you are sad. You, my friend, have had personal experience, so I understand you. Believe me, you're right. We shouldn't be embarrassed, but the reality is most of society hasn't had those experiences. And you're right, I shouldn't care what they think. And 99 things out of 100, I don't care what the other person thinks. I don't care what they think about my views on politics. I don't care what they think about my views on religion. I don't care what they think about my views on all kinds of issues. But for some reason, I kind of care. I don't want to be that guy who smells like shit. I don't want to be that guy, or pee, or those things. And I would be mortified if that happened in public, and I don't know why. In Apollo spacecraft days, they used a device that was a condom attached to a hose. It worked pretty good. Yeah, something akin to that. Well, actually, I don't know if it was the first astronaut, but I believe it was the first U.S. astronaut. His flight was only expected to take like 15 minutes or something. So they never planned for him having to go to the bathroom. But it turned out, because of delays, he was on the launch pad and he was suited up and in the rocket for something like a couple hours before they actually took off. And not long, like a couple hours in, he's like, hey, I gotta pee. And it was kind of a big problem because it would have taken them hours to get him out of the rocket and out of the spacesuit and to a place he could pee. And then by the time they got him all set up again, they would not have been able to launch. And they brought it to the NASA engineers, like, what do we do about this? And they finally just told him to just go in his suit. And that's what he did. He went in his spacesuit. I guess if you're an astronaut, that's you got to do. You're the first guy going, and but he's a national hero. And if I was in a spacesuit, I might not care because nobody else would smell it. And by the time anybody did smell it, I'd be a hero, and they'd be like paying to get the wet clothes that were under my spacesuit. It would be a national prize. It's probably in the Smithsonian now. The wet spacesuit that astronaut number 1 peed in. So yeah, that probably wouldn't bother me, but the reality of not being an astronaut and having to pee in your pants, or worse, in them, yeah, it's still a big deal. Darth Raven says, I would be a criminal, but I'm scared of prison. I'd be the first person to get prison married. Yeah, my plan to avoid prison is to just not do anything illegal, because I would not be good in prison. I certainly wouldn't have been good in prison when I could walk. And now I'd be worse in prison. I don't even know what they would do because, I mean, I don't think they let you take wheelchairs into prison. Certainly not electric ones. I mean, just think of all the shivs I could hide in there. Anti-Tracker says, Anti-Trekker says, excuse me. Bird of prey robs a bank. Later the cops show up, and when they go outside, they see his broken down chair outside the bank. The cops say, don't worry, he won't get far on foot. Josh Street says, Bird of Prey 5, you were a supervillain on today's Anti-Tracker stream by making us watch and listen to lore singing. I wasn't the supervillain, okay? The supervillain is Anti-Tracker. He made that, okay? He offers it. I'm not the villain for showing it. I'm showing it so that the rest of the people will demand its removal. Okay? I'm the hero. I will grant you my methods might be unorthodox, but this is definitely a case where things have to get worse before they get better. And that was what I was trying to do. AT looks like a guy who would tie a woman to train tracks. Oh. Would you do that, Anti-Tracker? He would probably tie lore to train tracks. Still here, bro. Okay, thanks, Brian. Let's try and speed this up. Catheters make a person feel like they have to pee all the time. Not the first choice, but I would do it if I had to. I guess if you had to, you had to. I'm not at that point yet, hopefully, thankfully. God willing, I won't be, but, I mean, I've had them in the hospital. And, I didn't feel like I had to pee all the time for whatever reason. But, I've had some, because I've had kidney surgery, kidney stones, all types of things. And the urinary tract. Urinary tract. And, the colors that have come out of me, not good. Not good. Darth Raven says, you're not making yourself look better. Its name Betty? Is its name Betty? I'm thinking you were talking about the vacuum, maybe? No, the vacuum doesn't have a name. It's called, well, I did have a name for it, but not like a human name. It was called something like Urine Disposer 3000 or something. But I forgot. I'll have to remember it. Anti-Trekker says to Thomas he was sorry he was practicing my knots. What did you say? Okay, so that was tying women to train tracks. See, now when I want to say tracks, I'm saying treks. And when I want to say trek, I'm saying tracks. They should just be the same thing. Track, trek, same thing. I'm done. I'm not going to worry about which one I use anymore. Bad Wolf Gamer. With this conservative government we have in the UK, you'd be classed as fit for work and have no benefits. Well, the UK has a conservative government. May is a conservative. That is surprising from U.S. conservative standards. Anti-Tracker says, so BOP is about 20 minutes behind with 10 people on his stream. When his channel is bigger than mine, he's going to have to stream 24/7 to catch up. Oh, yeah, I'm not so great at doing the chats. I should probably skip half of them. Okay. Every villain is a hero in their own story. Well, they are. Thomas Potts. Well, I never pick Mega 1 or 5. Good for you, Thomas. You know, some days I won't pick it, but some days when its timing is right, I think you pick it now, you might just start the revolution where people say, this is the last time. This time and no more. The line must be drawn here. Here and no further. Every time he plays the super chat, we fall back. Mega Chat 1, we fall back. Mega Chat 5, we fall back. Cheap Bleach, we fall back. No, the line must be drawn here. Here and no further. Okay, that went Russian Picard somehow. Yeah, I'm not good at voices. I'm not good. Okay. Thomas, you're just as much a villain. Bad Wolf Gamer, you look nothing like your profile picture. If you mean General Chang, then yes, he is much better looking than me. Anti-Tracker says, so BOP is the hero because he pays $10 for all of you to hear Lars singing in his brave crusade to get the super chat removed when he could just pay me $500 and I would remove it. Well, Anti-Tracker, if I had $1 million in the bank, I would pay you $500 to remove it. But I have closer to $500 in the bank, so I will pay $10 on occasion to get people to get upset enough to start the revolution that ultimately leads to its removal. Urinary trick, the next generation. Yes. Succubus, I'm just too far behind. I'm sorry. Josh Street, a Bad Wolf Gamer. BOP's profile picture was taken before the torpedo of his bird of prey. Yes, that's true. I have headcanon that makes General Chang a hero. He was actually replaced by a Federation spy. And the real General Chang died a hero in battle, fighting for the Klingon people. But that's neither here nor there. One man's villain is another man's hero. The conservatives we have are globalist shills. In the UK, well, that's why I don't recognize them as conservatives. But labels don't translate well between countries. FIY BOP. I have said that it does not bother me when you say Anti-Tracker or Star Trek, because half my family from NYC, I get the accent. Yeah, I know, you gave me the pass. I listened to Saturday night's live stream yesterday morning, and I heard about that I get a pass for saying track because it's just an accent thing in New York. Nevertheless, I did try to adhere to saying trek when I could, but it's more trouble than it's worth. Mega 5 is awesome, Thomas Potts says. So you'll just pick it every time now, Thomas? Anti-Tracker says an interesting Russian, English, French accent. You think there was French in there? There might have been. I guess if it was... No, I don't know why there would be French. CNN, Anti-Tracker hacked by Russians. How does love... He does love STD. Thomas Potts says he's a member of the Turtative Party. And Anti-Tracker said it was about as French as Picard ever is. Am I actually at the end of the chats? I am. Okay, so back to the dreams. So for years, I was dreaming more or less the same dreams I had before I got sick. After 6 or 7 years, I started having more dreams where I'd realize I was still walking, but in the dream I would know that I would know that I had limitations on where I could go or what I could do, even though they weren't physically apparent in the dream. I was just so used to thinking I can't go out or I can't go somewhere because of this or that. And I have to say, in the most recent dreams, I've actually, and when I was younger, and I would say, the mid-1990s, I'd read a book, and I was actually able to pretty regularly do lucid dreaming. And for those who don't know, lucid dreaming is simply where you know you're dreaming. And when you're in control of your lucid dream, you are literally like Q. You can snap your fingers. If I could snap my fingers. You could snap your fingers and you could make things appear. You can change the world, change the environment. You could fly someplace. Though honestly, I've never flown in a dream. Not like I've flown on a plane. But I hear it's common. Some people have dreams where they literally fly, like Superman. I've never had one of those dreams. But regardless, you could literally do anything when you're in control of a lucid dream. And abruptly, I lost that ability for a long, long, long time. Only in recent months, maybe a year, I've started to realize I'm dreaming again because, the book I read about lucid dreaming, in order to pick up that you're dreaming, you had to kind of literally insert it into your routine that 100 times during the day. I mean, however you wanted to do it, every time you heard the word "the" or something that happened many, many times a day, every time, say, you heard the word "the," you would stop and literally ask yourself, am I dreaming? And do I remember how I got here? Okay, do I know, how I got to where I am right now? And if the answer is yes, I clearly remember taking the elevator up and driving, 5 miles and leaving my house in the morning, then yes, okay, I'm not dreaming. And it has to get so accustomed to your conscious routine that you're always asking yourself, am I dreaming? And then it's gonna spill over to your unconscious mind, and you're going to be awake in a dream. You're going to be dreaming, and your brain is going to ask, am I dreaming? And you're going to think about it, and you're going to say, do I know how I got here? And you're going to be somewhere, and you're going to be like, I don't know how I got here. Or this isn't even my life. This isn't where I live. You're going to realize something's wrong, and that's going to be when you realize you're dreaming. And the first few times you'll probably just wake up. But eventually, if you do it enough, some people, I don't know if it's most, but some at least, you realize that you are in a dream, you stay in the dream, but you get control of the dream. And for me, it was pretty quick. And like I said, it was literally snap a finger, a person could appear out of nowhere, snap another finger, they're gone. You get a car, a jeep, a plane, like a combination of Q and Grand Theft Auto 5, where you can just spawn whatever the hell you want with a cheat code. It was obviously very, very good. Now, that stopped, and only recently, because of the disability, I'm starting to get into that routine where, wait a second, I'm dreaming because I can't walk. But clearly I'm walking, so I must be dreaming. And I've gotten to the point that I don't wake up immediately, but I'm not at the point that I can make things appear or snap my fingers or change what's going on. Let's say I'm dreaming about being in a hotel in Las Vegas, which happens pretty frequently. It was one of the last places I was before I got sick. And Vegas is one of the places I dream about quite often. So while I can't make things appear, I know I'm dreaming, and I have to work within the confines of the dream world. So I could literally go into the casino floor and, for example, knock out a table boss, or whatever they're called, dealer, and the pit boss, and like take a bunch of chips. Of course, what the hell are you going to do with a bunch of chips in a dream? There's nothing you can do, but you could do it. You can't snap your fingers and make a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee appear, but you can go outside in the front of the building where the cars are pulling up and wait for some type of SUV to be pulled up to be valeted, and get in the vehicle and then drive away in it. And you could drive for a long time because it was in the dream. So it's interesting. It's not all dreams, but it's a few, and it seems to be increasing as time goes on. Also, what's kind of snuck in the last few years are the occasional dreams where I am in my wheelchair, or I am in the hospital bed, or just a bed, which which is scary a little bit because, when you could dream and you could say, well, every dream I've had, I'm walking, that was always hopeful. I suppose it's just the reality after so many years that you're going to start dreaming about your current condition. I mean, and none of my, I don't say none, very few of my dreams are nightmares. Very few of my dreams are sad dreams. There are some on occasion and they stick out. But I generally have good, happy dreams. Even if I'm in my bed or my wheelchair or something. So yeah, somebody who's been paralyzed their whole life, totally imagine that they dream and they dream that they're still paralyzed. If they had a life before they got paralyzed, over time, I'd say the dreams of quote unquote walking around like normal probably get less and less. Although I hope they don't go away. I mean, it's been 8 years plus now, 9 really. And mine are a long way from being gone. But I also had 30 years of a quote-unquote normal life. So, I don't know. Maybe if you got paralyzed when you were a teenager, 20 years later, you don't even remember what it's like to walk anymore. I hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm certainly not surprised people who've had little to zero memory of walking probably dream that they're in a hospital bed or a wheelchair, and that's their dream world. Yeah, things still happen in your dreams, but your dreams generally reflect what your life situation is. Let's go back up a bit. Okay, went up a bit far. Yay, all caught up. Anti-tracker, how do I... Hey, I do need to go so I can get some work done. Take care, BOP, Bird of Prey. Thank you for being such a good friend and supportive guys. And support you guys all rock. Thank you, Anti-Tracker. Of course, now he stops reading the chat. Sorry about that. I had to get back to the topic at hand. So I will be gone like an hour before he notices. Probably. It's okay, though. I'm not doing this stream just for you. Now I feel bad. You don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel bad. Hey, read like 5 of my comments ago. You see, this is why there needs to be, see, I wish AOL Instant Messenger was still a thing. Then I could give people my IM and it would literally just pop up on the screen when there was something actually important to read before. I guess I could give people my cell phone number to text me, but yeah, no. Captain Redneck, if you're still here, Captain Redneck is on the bridge. Thought? I don't know what thought. Oh, Captain Redneck is on the bridge. Oh, he beat me to it. BOP, I know you will see this in like an hour. Take care, buddy. That was at 8:08. It's now 8:18, so 10 minutes ago. Take care, Anti-Tracker. Thank you again for everything. He'll catch up, AT. Well, we'll just hold down the fort. Peace out, bro. Great as always. Captain Redneck says he's only had one lucid dream. I dreamt I was in elementary school and I was Marty McFly for some reason. As soon as I knew it was a dream, I woke up. Wow. Captain Batman says, James. Captain Batman, better known as James. Hi, Bird of Prey, enjoying your channel. Thank you, James. Okay, there's another dream I wanted to talk about. Not technically a dream, but as some of you might know, when I first got sick in 2009, I was in an induced coma. And I was in a coma for months. And I don't know if I already talked about this, but people asked me, well, nobody asked me, but later, after I woke up, I don't know if somebody asked me or I just spoke about it, but, what are your memories when you're in a coma? It's not technically sleeping, and I don't know if it's technically dreaming, but my only memories were it was reoccurring that, and I don't know for how long it lasted, but when I was in the coma, sick, I felt, and I'm pretty sure I've said this already, but I was in Hawaii. I had felt that somehow I knew I was sick. I knew I had been sick. My family had told me that in the dream or whatever it was, I had gotten better, and my family said that they sold my house for however much, a crazy amount of money, and that we never have to worry about money again, and we were all living out of a beach house in Hawaii. And I just remember it being extremely peaceful because I was with family and people I loved and didn't have to worry about money, and I was healthy, everybody seemed healthy, and it was just a happy place to be. Now, it's weird because I've been to Hawaii and it's nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say Hawaii's not nice, but Hawaii would not be my favorite place to live. Given the choice to live anywhere in the world with, money to pay for everything, I'd probably be living in or around Sedona, Arizona, because that is probably my favorite place to be. A close second is Las Vegas. So the fact that I was in Hawaii is a little strange, but I was just so happy and content, it didn't matter. I don't know if it counts as a dream. I don't know if I was half dead, but whatever it was, I was happy. And it's good because the things my family tells me that were happening to me were the complete opposite of that. So whether the brain did it as a defense mechanism or what, I don't know, but it was good. It was good. Okay, guys. Anybody have any other questions? Is anybody still here? It says 5 watching now. Maybe I should refresh the page. Brian's here. Okay. Well, I think that was my spiel for tonight. Another day I'll talk to you guys about my short career as a criminal villain, but really more of a Robin Hood, out to help the I don't say the poor people, but the regular people who needed help but couldn't help themselves. And then some other day we can talk about my eBay revenge story. Although I think I did a video on that, but it was way back. Nobody really watched it. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming. Yes, Anti-Tracker thinks I'm a supervillain. I don't think I'm a supervillain, but did Gul Dukat think he was a supervillain? No. He thought he was the hero. All he wanted was for the people of Bajor to acknowledge his greatness. And, you know, is there even one statue of him on Bajor? And think of all the millions of people he could have killed, but didn't. Doesn't that count for anything? I don't know. I don't know what the world is coming to. Gul Dukat can't get one damn statue on Bajor. And probably Cisco, who was half divine being anyway, will probably get a statue, and Gul Dukat will just be remembered as some Cardassian butcher. Is there any justice in the world? I don't know. Kapla.